So who better than to share with us what are we expecting our customers to look like? We will call upon Edward, who's from Amadeus, and he has got all the juicy details for us.
Hi everybody, good morning. So 12 months on, it's so fantastic to be back at Marina Bay Sands, and looking at all of the data, it's so good to see how much the region has recovered in the last 12 months. So my name is Edward, I work for Amadeus Hospitality, and today we're going to be looking at the Traveler Tribes 2023. So this is a survey which looks at the 1.9 billion travelers around the world and what the tribes will look like in 10 years' time. But first, before we look forward, let's take a step back. So 10 years ago, I was based in Dubai. We were coming out of the global financial crisis, and there were certain trends that were starting to appear. The first one, I would say, there was the boom in low-cost carriers. So low-cost carriers suddenly opened up the doors to allow travel to be accessible to the masses at jaw-dropping prices. We also saw the rise in the sharing economy. So if you think back, hitchhiking suddenly became socially acceptable with the launch of UberX. We also saw the rise of the sharing economy. So Airbnb suddenly allowed us to be able to easily rent a guest room, a house, a castle, or even the garden shed. We also see the explosion of social media, going from likes and comments to suddenly becoming a very powerful marketing tool where the influencer suddenly became an official job title. And Asia boomed. Over the last 10 years, Bangkok became the #1 global city visited in 2019. And we also saw the rise in sustainability. And what an important rise that's been. And it's so good that this conference's theme is all around sustainability. So looking ahead, just really wanted to share a little bit about Amadeus. So over the last 10 years, Amadeus has also grown. So most of you know Amadeus as a GDS, which we are, powering travel agents and tour operators like Expedia, but we've become so much more. We truly connect the global travel and tourism industry, bringing people together to have new experiences, broaden their horizons, and actually do business together. So if we look at our airline business, so here in Asia, our passenger service system powers over 400 different airlines, everything from SQ to Qantas, to all of their low-cost carriers such as Scoot, AirAsia, and Jetstar. And this passenger service system is really focused on looking at availability, rates, loyalty, merchandising, and departure management. And here in Singapore, we also supply a lot of technology for passenger service management in Changi. So those of you who've been flying through Changi over the last couple of months or years, you will see that there are kiosks. You will see that there's recently bag drops, and there's also now a lot more biometrics for making immigration a lot easier and smooth. And that's all Amadeus. And then on our hotel side, so with the acquisition of TravelClick in 2018, we now have solutions that power the entire customer journey. And that's really focusing on driving profitable demand, looking at operational efficiencies, and we're well on our way with working with Marriott to replace Marsha and moving all of Marriott's hotels, all 8,500 hotels, onto the new Amadeus reservation system, which will allow attribute selling for the entire estate. But in order to look forward, we have to do a couple of things. I think #1, we have to be open to collaboration. We have to look at the traveler and put the traveler first. So this is why we actually kind of do these Traveler Tribe surveys. So the Traveler Tribe surveys first started in 2010. This is the third in its series. And we actually went out and surveyed over 10,000 people. We employed a research agency called North Star Regency, and they actually went ahead and actually broke down all of the data. We also went out and looked at thought leaders within the industry and also industry leaders that influence the industry. And the research was done over 15 countries, which included Australia, Singapore, India, China, Malaysia, and Indonesia, which eventually gave us to 1.8 million different data points. And from those different data points, we concluded that there are 4 distinct tribes that will be around in 2023. So we have the pioneer the Pioneer Pathfinder, we have the Memory Maker, we have the Excited Experientialist, and the Travel Tech Influencer. So if we look at the different tribes and kind of look at their attributes, the Pioneer Pathfinder represents 45% of the future traveler tribe. These are going to be our sustainable superheroes. So today, they are pioneers, they are open to take calculated risk, and they really kind of look at how the future of travel will be from a sustainability perspective. They will continue to use large international chains that can offer eco alternatives, and they really will be kind of progressing into a state where they will be really focusing on personal development in a sustainable way. Next, we have our memory makers. So today, the memory makers will make up about 17%. 44% of those individuals are over the age of 42. And they will be really focused on habitual travel. So this is really putting people first, repeating the experiences and the travel types they can traditionally do. And this group is least likely to use AI. They are very protective about their data. They really want to be able to kind of hold that close to themselves. They also are 58% unattained into sustainability. So this group will continue to use local chains versus large international who will require additional data and will always put people first in creating those memories. Next is the excited experientialist, and I think those of you will probably know who you are. This is really putting life first in the YOLO attitude of life, so really going out and seeking experiences over materialism. So this group, 44% of them don't live with children, 45% have mid to high level income, and this group will really kind of be searching the unexpected, the new experiences, so typically looking at alternative accommodation or homestays, and this group will be the last group who will be scheduling a detailed tour months in advance. Next, we have the tech fluencers, and yes, that is not a spelling mistake. It is a new word that we're coining. So this group is the younger generation. So 38% of the group is under the age of 32. 3/4 of them are traveling for business, and these are the early adopters for technology. So these are the ones who will take the risk and to utilize technology. They will be the first people to use AI to go ahead and book their end-to-end journey. And this is just a growing segment. It's really growing in the way that they are actually progressive. But interesting, even though they are the most adopters of technology, they're also the most scared about cyber attacks and protecting their data. So in this particular traveler tribe, they're really looking for an end-to-end experience where the whole journey is connected, either through a super app, through biometrics, and making sure they're utilizing technology all the way through their journey. So the other thing that we wanted just to highlight is some of the common trends that we actually saw around technology. And I think we're all kind of looking into this world of where virtual reality meets real reality. Cryptocurrency is something that is highly debatable, but it's here to stay. Everybody's also looking to utilize data. You know, we've been talking about ChatGPT a lot. We've been talking about all of our different data points. And I think COVID has really kind of forced us to look at how we want to share our data. People are now a lot more open to be able to share their individual data in order to be able to streamline travel airport experiences, to be able to provide more tailored, customized travel options for them. So again, this trend is set to continue. Biometrics, as we mentioned, if you start to travel around Asia, I've been traveling a little bit, so if you go over to Japan, South Korea, here in Singapore, there is just so much more biometrics that we're seeing across the airport side, and hopefully, once things become a little bit more cost effective, we'll see that transition into hotels. Because wouldn't it be great to have biometrics in a hotel for check-in, so you could go ahead and just walk through the actual reception and check right in? Wouldn't it be great to have biometrics to ensure that security is up the utmost? So if anybody is in an area which they shouldn't be within a hotel, the biometrics will notify security. So that's a trend that will continue to rise. And The super app. I think Asia is ahead of the curve when it comes to the super app, whether that's WeChat or Grab. But if you look at Europe and North America, they are really behind the times when it comes to being able to book everything on a super app. So that's a big trend that we're starting to see it, that will kind of continue across the region. And virtual reality. Virtual reality is a hot topic. Will people adopt it? Will people not adopt it? My opinion is, I think, yes, they will. I think to varying degrees. I think people will use virtual reality to preview tours to make sure they're getting the most cost-effective experience. I think educational perspective, there's a great opportunity to be able to educate people through virtual reality. The one step further regarding the metaverse is still a big question mark, but I think ultimately it will happen, just depending on where that is. So lastly, what we wanted to do is we wanted to make this session a little bit more interactive. So if you could get your phones out, this is the Amadeus Traveler Tribe quiz. So this is the official Amadeus Traveler Tribe quiz. So what we're going to do is if you could fill out the quiz, and then when we come back from the coffee break, we'll actually go ahead and ask you to use the metronome, I think it is. Menti, thank you. And it will be fascinating to see who across this demographic and what tribe you are. So yes, do the quiz, and then when you come back from the coffee break, we'll go ahead and share the results. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Bye.